Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. Now in tonight's video we're going to be talking about the patch note 1.06 which came out earlier today into Modern Warfare. We did have a patch before, I think like at the end of last weekend or maybe earlier in the week that fixed dead silence and some other things, but they never really put out patch notes for that. They just announced that it fixed some bugs and some other things. With this one we do have some patch notes as well as we have some stuff added to the game files which I talked about in another video, but I want to go a little bit more in depth into that, and also talk about another tweet from Joe Seacott, who is a employee at Infinity Ward, who basically said not only did they patch these things today, but they have more stuff coming, and he hints at some of that, which is very exciting. If you could drop a like on this video, let's go ahead and go for 586 likes. That would be amazing if we could hit that. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and not already subscribed. We just hit 970K on that road to a million, so really do appreciate everyone new taking the time to hit that subscribe button if you aren't already. Smack a like, and let's go ahead and get right into it. So this came out on November 2nd across all platforms. It's 1.8 gigabytes for PS4, 2.4 gigabytes for your Xbox, and 7.5 gigabytes for PC, which is kind of crazy, but that's because they added, you know, all of these sort of map names and a bunch of stuff to the files, which we'll talk about later in this video. But the new update did change the playlist. You basically have a night vision goggle playlist that was added for sort of realism. That's available not under the quick play, but under the main sort of selection. And you also have Kill Confirmed, which Kill Confirmed is available under the quick play and under the main selection. So I'm sure it probably just filters you into the same lobbies. I guess they just do that when they want to have a new mode. They want people to notice that Kill Confirm was added, so they're going to throw it right up there on the main stage, I guess you could say. That's pretty cool. Kill Confirmed was, of course, a game that I think it originally came out in Modern Warfare 3. So obviously it's an Infinity Ward game, I guess you could say, but they've had it all. You know, it's one of those game modes that stuck around. Now it's back into this game. I mean, I think that's dope. I think there's like, I want to see more modes though. You know, I want to see the hard point. I want to see stuff like that in public matches. Anyway, let's go ahead and get right into the patch notes and what actually was changed. Now, they have more fixes to prevent crashes and improve stability across all platforms. I know I've seen a lot of people complaining, or I guess it's not really complaining. If your game's crashing, you deserve the right to complain about it, right? But people were having some issues with crashing. Hopefully that should be fixed. They just put some fixes out for that. Next is battle chatter has been removed from tactical one life modes. Now, battle chatter is, I was confused what battle chatter was at first, the first time I read it, but people let me know in the comment section down below, and I've you know, learned a bit more about it. Battle chatter has been a problem in this game because it's basically where your character calls out, you know, whether they're yelling out contact or he's in the red bus or whatever it is, you know, that's sort of a way that you get a tactical advantage by listening to your characters yelling out. And I'm not talking about your buddies playing in the party, I'm talking about your actual in-game character. So that has been removed from tactical one life modes, they say. And when I see tactical one life modes, I mean, I think instantly of search and destroy. So obviously I've seen some clips on Twitter where like people would go on to defuse the bomb, the battle chatter would like alert the player that they're there, and they would just shoot them. Like, I've seen some really bad clips where that was being horrible, and so that has been removed from public matches one life modes, which is a very big deal for people. That was ruining a lot of S&D lobbies apparently. Next is APCs and tanks in ground war no longer award points towards a nuke. Now this is honestly freaking hilarious, bro. That, okay, ground war, basically they have tanks as a kill streak in this game, right? But then in ground war, the tanks are sort of just free part of the map. Makes sense. But you can get in the tank, and those kills were actually counting towards the nuke. I saw this gameplay. It was like the first ever double nuke. And no offense to the players that got the first ever double nuke. It's obviously just like the game messing up by even allowing that. But I watched the gameplay, and it's just a guy sitting with the tank up on that hill on the beta ground war map. And I was just laughing because I was like, how is this possible that they allow it so that, you know, if I earn an attack helicopter or I earn a streak, that doesn't count towards my nuke. But if you just hop in a tank that's given to you for free in camp, that counts towards the nuke. It absolutely made no sense, and obviously they're taking that away. Thank goodness, because I think if more people realize this, people were, I mean, they were already camping the tanks. There's only certain spots you can camp. They're already taking it to the maximum, but that was just literally like, I thought at first, I was like, is this on purpose? Do they really want noobs to be able to sit in this and get a nuke so everyone can have a fun experience? But thank goodness they patched that, because that would just be so ridiculous. You know, for the nuke, it's 30 kills, and you have to get it with your gun kills and with equipment. That's the way it should be. You know, if you're not going to do a nuke like Modern Warfare 2, then you got to do it in sort of a Moab fashion where it's going to be gun kills, and thank goodness they fixed that. Next is they fix for charms affecting weapon performance when firing from the hip. So there was actually a thing where if you added a weapon charm onto like the P90 and some other weapons, it made your hip fire worse, which obviously was not intended to be like that. I think I saw Drifter was tweeting it out, and Infinity Ward was responding saying we're going to work on that, we're going to fix that, and it looks like they have fixed that because that obviously was not intentional and was just a glitch. Next is Claymores. Stun grenades can now force Claymores into a disabled state for 3 seconds. So this is interesting, honestly. First of all, I'm like, okay, so they're nerfing the Claymores, but it's a really, really minuscule nerf. I mean, if you get hit with a stun grenade, not the flash grenades don't work. It's going to be the stun grenade only. That's going to disable the Claymore for 3 seconds. So how often is this going to be happening? Not too often. Claymores are still going to be ridiculously overpowered. I guess you could run, if you're really worried about people with Claymores, I guess this is a new strategy to counter it, where you run restock with stun grenades and you toss the stun grenades, at the top of the stairs before you walk up. I can see how it can help, but it's just, I don't think anyone's really going to be thinking like that or playing like that. I thought they were going to lower the blast radius or do something, because there's times where I've been on the back side or the side, but turned a little bit angled towards the back and just try to shoot the Claymore to destroy it on purpose, because you notice it and boom, it just blows you up. So I don't know if they're going to do the blast radius. Obviously not in today's patch. They just added that stun grenades can disable it for 3 seconds, or disabled state. So after 3 seconds, it'll come back to being active. Next is footsteps. Adjustment to tame the third-person footsteps. They will now filter out based on occlusion more. So just some tuning to the footsteps. Honestly, that, we have to sort of play and see how it is, but definitely adjustments, because the footsteps were super duper loud, and you could hear people where you would think they're right beside you, like you had SitRep Pro, and they're actually on the other side of a wall or on the complete opposite side of a building. So hopefully this makes it where the footsteps are a little quieter at range, but when they get up close and personal, you can still hear them and it works how it's supposed to. Obviously, that's one that we can't really tell how good of an update it is from the patch notes. We're gonna have to check it out and play with it. Next, they fixed an issue where attack inserts could cause players to spawn out of bounds. They fixed for the gold camo not unlocking on the 357, and they did the playlist update where they have the night vision goggle realism, TDM only, ground war, gunfight, kill confirmed, and free for all. I'm not sure why it says all that stuff under the playlist update. I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, we got sort of 2 new game modes, definitely, for sure. That's stuff that is in the game as of right now. Also, we had a tweet from Joe Seacott, who is the co-design director of multiplayer at Infinity Ward, and this guy made a tweet earlier today saying that he's excited to get the footstep tuning in live along with these other changes, and that more updates are in the works. And this is what he said: more restricted player callout logic. So this comes on to more with the battle chatter. They're definitely going to continue to tweak and update that, and they're still looking into that, is basically what he's saying. Next, prevent enemies from hearing callouts in all modes. So that's just another thing to do with basically your battle chatter. I think they really are having a lot of issues. I don't know why. It seems a weird thing to have issues with. I guess they tried to make the battle chatter system to help out noobs who can't really notice people, so they can hear contact. I really don't understand it, but I mean, I guess obviously it's sort of backfiring, and they're going to have to do a bunch of these fixes to switch it. So prevent enemies from hearing callouts in all modes. Next is the challenge system fixes. So obviously some challenges have been glitching out. The progress wasn't working. Hopefully that has fixed. Another thing I see people talking about a lot is, how come I can't level up my weapon? Blah, blah, blah. A lot of the times when it shows your weapon as being level 1, it's just a glitch in the menu. That was happening to me too at first. I was like, oh my god, did my account get reset? I was worried at first, and then I was like, oh, what? I still have my, level 50 worth of attachments, but the gun says level 1. So I'm thinking that's just a glitch. Hopefully this fixes, or well, they're going to be looking into and fixing more in the future. Challenge system fixes. Next thing he said is weapon tuning. So definitely we all predict, I mean, this doesn't really tell us much. We could have all predicted that weapon tuning is on the way, probably in this November overhaul, and he doesn't say anything in specific. He doesn't say weapon tuning, hey, M4 is getting nerfed or anything. He just says weapon tuning, but I guess we can kind of assume what's going to happen. I mean, what do you guys think in terms of the comment section down below? Let me know. What do you guys think needs to happen in terms of weapon tuning? I think definitely they're going to tweak some ARs that are a bit overpowered, but mainly there's like some shotguns that are just ridiculous. Definitely need to be nerfed and looked at. And it is interesting how usually when a COD game comes out, it's not just this game, it's every game. The weapon balance is usually really bad off the start, and they sort of use us, the player base that buys the game, to play test it, and then they look into the stats and be like, oh, you know, they can see, oh, the M4 has a 1.3 KD on average, and this one has an average of a 0.7 KD, and they can adjust accordingly. So we're kind of like the play testers in a way. It is kind of weird, but definitely weapon tuning is going to be on the way, probably in this later November update. And the last thing he said is spawn updates. He talked about this before in his tweet on October 28th, saying they were looking into spawn updates, and he covers that again in his November 2nd tweet. Definitely, I think spawns need to be fixed in this game. I know I see people talking about how like, oh, they spawn in front of me, it's horrible. My problems aren't really with that as much. My problems are more with whenever the spawns are just so far back. I'm like these maps are big, and one thing they've been doing in Call of Duty lately is stretching these maps out like way longer and way wider than they need to be, and then extending the spawn so that people spawn with sort of cover on them. They spawn behind a barn, or they spawn behind, you know, 3 different concrete head glitches or whatever it is, and it makes it sort of weird where the spawns are very strong in this game where they don't flip, but at the same time they're so far back, and they're kind of, I mean, you're spawning on cover a lot of the time, which I think it was designed to do, but definitely I think spawn updates could be needed and could speed up the pace of this game in 6v6 and 10v10. I really would like to see that have good spawns where you're not getting screwed over by the spawns, but have it so they can speed up in the game. That's what we have as far as the patch notes, and as far as stuff that's going to be coming soon. And the other thing is, because this update was so big on PC, like I talked about, it was 1.8 gigs on PS4, 2.4 on the Xbox, and then 7.5 on PC. And there was a known leaker who leaked on Reddit, and I talked about in my video earlier, all of these upcoming maps that are in the files of this game. And this is true information. All this stuff is in the files. However, the leaker does say that this list of maps, which I'll show right here, are for 6v6 and 10v10, which I talked about in my other video. And the more and more I look at this list, I definitely do think a lot of these are going to be 6v6 and 10v10 for sure. And they're not going to be, it's not going to be like, some of these might come out in 10 months to 6v6 or 10v10, but I also think that a lot of these are going to be battle royale locations. And the Gaming Revolution, who is another very, very credible leaker, probably the top leaker that we have for Modern Warfare, he made a tweet saying that yes, some of these are battle royale locations, but obviously some of them will come to the multiplayer as well. And I think that's definitely true. I think that we're going to get, I don't think that we're going to get all 38 of these maps coming into multiplayer, and if we do, it'll take, you know, it'll take the whole year or two life cycle. But I definitely think that some of these locations, like you can see, something like a hospital, lumber, port, prison, some of those things do sound straight up like they are battle royale locations. So those will probably be in battle royale, and then they'll pull out certain maps from the battle royale into the multiplayer, such as like a TV station probably is going to be broadcast from COD 4. That will probably come into the multiplayer. Crash will probably come into the multiplayer. Layover, which is interesting. Layover, and people are pointing this out in the comments, definitely makes sense to be terminal, right? Terminal, layover. Hey, it makes sense. And there is, I mean, people were saying in leaks before that there is some sort of an airport on the battle royale map, so that could mean terminal coming to multiplayer as well. Other stuff like this, slums, people have been talking about, hey, maybe slums, you know, obviously slums from BO2, maybe they go across games and put that one in, or it could be a new name for favela. I've seen that's a theory people are going with as well. Sub base, yeah, a lot of this stuff will be coming to multiplayer almost for sure, because you can see like shipment day, shipment night. So obviously they wouldn't have a day and night for one part of the battle royale map. I think shipment will be part of the battle royale map, but it will also be in multiplayer, and probably 6v6, and maybe even named cargo in 2v2. So yeah, definitely a lot of stuff. Like I said in my video earlier, all this stuff can be subject to change. It's just coding in the game files, and just because it says MP, you know, we're always inclined to think these are going to be multiplayer maps, just like the leaker said. However, we don't know, and I think that probably we'll see a lot of these. Some of these will just be scrapped and won't come out, but a lot of these on the battle royale map, and then the best ones of that, they'll probably let us maybe even play the battle royale map, see where most people are dropping, and then pull those and suck them into multiplayer. I mean, there's many ways they can do that, but definitely the good thing about this is that, hey, there's 38 multiplayer locations or maps added to the files, so that means we're going to get a load of maps in this game. 6v6, 10v10, gunfight, ground war, and then battle royale. It's going to be really, really exciting with the updates. We don't know exactly which maps we're going to get, and we especially don't know what, you know, what time limit we're going to get them on. Some of this stuff could come out in 9 months, some of this stuff could never come out, and some of it could come out literally next week. So we don't know. You'll have to wait and see, but I think once that Battle Royale opens up, which will probably happen maybe late 2019 or early 2020, that's when we'll start to just get the influx of these multiplayer maps coming out. Anyway, wanted to talk about that, give some different opinions, and say that yes, I am super excited for these multiplayer maps. However, some of them definitely probably will just remain as Battle Royale locations, but hey, it's all good. These are just names in the files. They can be working titles. They can change all these names. They could mean nothing, but it's definitely exciting to talk about. Anyway, drop a like, subscribe. That's everything you need to know about the patch updates. I would probably make some more videos. Well, I definitely have some more videos coming out tonight. I want to talk maybe a bit more in depth about Battle Royale leaks, about some other stuff that's been going on, and yeah, I just have a lot of stuff to cover on this game. Obviously, it's pretty much brand new, and there's so much info coming out all the time, and there's so much stuff to cover because of the new gunsmith and just the way the game works. Anyway, thanks for watching. Drop a like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one, and I'm out. Peace.